Hi, welcome to Class Soulmates. My name is Justice. So, this is the outcome of what we're going to be making in this class. I hope you love it. And it's very simple to make. Very, very simple to make. Trust me. All you have to do is just pay attention, watch the videos, and you enjoy it. Please do well to subscribe to this channel if you've not subscribed, like, share, and come back for next video. Okay, so this is the sleeve, how it's going to be, just the way we saw it on the thumbnail, right? And those are the designs, and then the beading on the design that brought out the look. Okay, so let's get right into it. Now this is for the front. I folded my fabric into two. Okay, this fabric is a cotton fabric, very light. And then I'm going to measure my shoulder line, divide by 2. Since we're using a freehand, you may want to add same allowance for the shoulder, but I did not. So I came down by 1 inch. You could do 1.5 inch, but I did 1 inch. Okay, so I also measure my neck width, which is 3 inches that I used. Then from the neck width, I'm going to come down to the 1 inch for shoulder drop down. Next is to take the length of my neckline. I did 7 inches, right? In form of a V. So I'm going to curve it from the 3 inches down to the 7 inches that I curved the neckline. I hope that is very clear. This is for the neck depth. The neck width is 3 inches, neck depth is 7 inches. Okay, shoulder measurement depends on what you have, and then come down by 1 inch for the shoulder drop down. Now, next, I'm going to be measuring my bust line. And this garment is quite free, but then we still need our vertical measurements. I'm going to take the waistline, and then I'm going to take the length of the gown where I want it to stop. Okay, now at the bust line, sorry, I'm going to divide by 2. Then I'm going to add extra 2 inches to make it free, and then I'll add extra 1 inch for my seam allowance. So it depends on how free you want it, but what you saw is not a fitted dress. So I'm also going to do the same thing on the waistline, divide it by 4, then add 2 inches, and then extra 1 inch for seam allowance. Now, if you don't need it to have any shape, you can just take it straight down. I'll do the same thing on the hip line, add 2 inches to my measurement, extra 1 inch for seam allowance or stitch allowance. Okay? So I'll connect all of those lines together. Like I said before, if you don't want it to have any shape, depending on the kind of shape you have, you could just use the widest measurement and take it straight down. All right. So here I'm just trying to use my chalk to mark out the lines. Now for my armhole depth, you know how we do it. I'll come up by 1.5 inches to get the depth of the armhole. Okay, the measurement is just your basic normal measurement. It does not affect the sleeve. All right, it does not affect the sleeve because the sleeve is not rightly fitted under the armhole. Okay, so I'm going to mark out those lines. I'm just making sure that everything is accurate. I'll connect my shoulder line on a straight line and then curve towards the bust circumference divided by 4 plus the 2 inches and 1 inch for seam allowance. So while doing this, you don't have to make the armhole line too wild, just use your normal measurement. So all I have to do now is to connect all the lines together. I've said this before, connect all the lines together. I'm just re-emphasizing on it so that you actually know what to do. Like I said in the opening of this video, please subscribe to this channel if you've not done so, and like this video, okay? And come back next time as returning subscriber. to view other videos that we're going to be having. So I'm going to cut out the design that I have like this. I'm cutting everything that I have marked, and I hope you cut yours the same way. Okay, just follow the markings and you are going to get it. So this is what we have. I'm now going to place it over to cut the back side. The difference between the front and the back is that the neck width for the back, rather the neck depth for the back, is going to be high, and then this is going to have a zipper. Okay, so I kept allowance for the zipper at the back. The dress is not so fitted and it's not so big, so it's necessary it has a zipper, but wherever you do not want any zipper, it's still fine so long as it can pass through your head. It does not have any darts, so it's still okay. All right, so I'm going to connect the shoulders. At the shoulder line, I'm going to raise the back up by 0.25 or zero point 0.5 so that it drops forward a little. That gives it a very nice balance. Okay, at the shoulder line for the back, raise it up by half an inch and then cut using the front armhole depth. Okay, it gives it a very nice balance so that it's kind of comes forward instead of looking like it's pulling backwards. I don't know if you've noticed that, and that's the reason the shoulder for the back is always a bit higher than the front. I hope this is making sense to you, what I'm trying to explain to you. Okay, so I've cut everything together as you can see. I've cut both the front and the back. Like I said, this is a very simple tutorial. It does not have any dots. Now the next thing we're going to be cutting is the sleeve. Okay, the sleeve is going to be cut in form of a triangular shape, or what we call the 360-degree shape. Okay, but I'm later going to divide it into two for the two sleeves. So that means it's 180-degree that we're going to be cutting. Of course, in a triangular shape, you can see the way I folded it. Okay, so what we're going to get the measurements that we're going to use for this, all we have to do is to measure the length where we want the sleeve to be from the front to the back. The length of the sleeve where we're going to be fixing it. So measure it, whatever it gives you. It could be 16, it could be 20, it could be whatever. That is what we're going to use to cut this. And of course, after everything, you might have an excess, and that means we're also going to be trimming out the part that is more than what we need. So this is the measurements that I've taken, which is what I'm calculating. And I'm going to be dividing it by 4 because I folded my fabric by 4. Okay, so I'm trying to use the tape to get the measurements that I want. And then I'll place it this way. So like I said, we're cutting in a triangular form, and this is what we call the 180-degree flay. Okay, so I'm just going to take the measurements for the roundness of the sleeve, that is the width of the sleeve where it's going to be fixed, and then after which I'm going to take measurement for the length of the sleeve before other alterations that we're going to be doing on the sleeve. I hope this is making sense to you. Okay, so after this now, from where I marked, I'm going to take the length of the sleeve. I'm going to cut everything together, but after cutting, okay, after cutting, I'm then going to trim it the way I want it to be. So after marking, the next thing is to cut it out like this. Okay, so this is what the sleeve is looking like. but we're still going to trim it out. Now, I think this is just one part of the sleeve. I'm going to trim it because if I make it too like this, it might not be enough for what I want. Okay, so I just have to cut another one. So I'll place the first one that I've cut on top of this, and I'll now take the actual measurement of where I want the sleeve to be. You can see me taking the measurements where I want the sleeve to be. Okay, so instead of having the full measurements that I have before. This might somehow be a kind of wasting fabric, but in some cases you might not just be able to help it. Okay, so I will cut for the second one this way. And of course, after cutting, I'm still going to trim it, and that is part of the reason I have to reduce the measurement, right? Because once I slant, okay, it will be wider than what I have before, right? So I'll put it together like this, and then I'm going to be slanting it. This might not be all that we have, but you can see the way it is. Okay, so you have to try it and see how it is in order to know if it is just the design that you want or you need to do other things to it. So I'll go ahead and cut the designs in front. You can see I used paper to trace them out. Then I'll place on the black fabric and cut it out, and then just place it on the fabric, on the garment. Of course, I use lighter like matches to finish the edge of the fabric because I could not fold it. Okay, and due to the nature of the fabric also, once you use lighter on it, it will not fray again, and that is what I did. Okay, so you can see the outcome of the design. Sorry I could not show while sewing the sleeve, but like you've seen before this video, it was just placed. Okay, so you weave it and then place it where you want it to be, and that is how it is formed. Isn't it beautiful? So beautiful, as you can see. Thank you for watching up to this extent. Of course, you can use your beads to design however you want to design, and it will just come out. Now at the hem, I used net to finish the hem of the dress. Like I gathered amount of nets and use it to finish, like in form of gathers below this dress, as you can see. Okay, thank you so much for watching.